Hey guys, Tim here from Candid TV. Welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a really interesting projector. This is the OVO K2 projector, and I love this because the ease of use and the customization options on this one really stood out to me. So this is the native 1080p projector. It's got an OVO TV operating system, but it's also got the Google Play Store available. And there's a lot of other functionality and things that you can add and customize about this projector. So OVO did sponsor this video and sent this over for me, but I want to tell you about this because I thought this is a really attractive option. So this projector just offers a lot of convenience. So it's very portable. It's got a nice convenient carrying handle on this, so for being able to take this places, that's awesome. It also has a lot of convenience based on the built-in operating system. So it's the OVO TV operating system, and it's got a lot of other like Google and Android type features as well. So it actually has both the OVO app system, and they have their own kind of app store, and then you have the Google App Store as well. So you're able to download pretty much any app that you'd want to, and you have a lot of the other conveniences of like kind of that Android interface and stuff too, where you can, download files and APKs and stuff, and there's other apps and stuff if you're familiar with, Kodi and Aptoid TV, all that kind of stuff. All of that's within the realm of possibility. Like I said, this is one of the easiest projectors I've ever set up. So in my theater room, I basically have it set up where it's kind of a bonus room over the garage. So the ceiling is kind of like slanted, it peaks and everything like that, to where I have my projector screen set up. If it's perfectly on the wall right below the ceiling there, I have it just flat 100-inch diagonal screen from Elite Screens to set up there. So with this, I honestly was able to just set this on the ground and it projected a perfect picture. I just, moved it in and out to where I needed to get it completely filling that 100 inches. And it was really easy to set up. So if you need to set this up a little bit higher, it's easy though to put this. It's very conducive to just put it on a tabletop. You can use a little, mini tabletop tripod or something like that. If you want to have this in the middle of the room or outside, just use a full-size tripod. It does have a 1/4-inch tripod thread on the bottom of it. So guys, before we get much further, let's hop over to the unboxing over here. I want to show you when I was opening this up, it was a pretty good unboxing experience, and I was pretty impressed with the quality of this and kind of the build and just how modern this looks. All right, so you can see the projector here. You can see there's a carrying strap right here already on it. So we've got the projector here. Let's take a look what else real quick is in here. Got the user manual, got a thank you card there with some info. So underneath here in the bottom of the box, there are all the accessories, it looks like. So yeah, pretty standard power cable there. So this looks like this is the power cord adapter here. So that first cable I just showed you is going to plug into there. And then it looks like this is what's going to end up going into the actual projector. And then lastly, it looks like this is the remote here. So I like how they have this branded and they kind of have those little labels on everything. It makes it nice and easy. So this is a nice remote. I like this. Is very textured here, nice grip. It's a nice size as well. You can see all the different kinds of controls and buttons on here. Really convenient to actually get these batteries included as well. So this is it. So like I said, this has a carrying strap right on the top here, as you see. You can see on the back here, you've got all these different inputs. You've got a headphone input right here, or aux input, so you can hook up kind of wired in with an aux cable for speakers. Looks like this is optical right here, USB ×2. HDMI, LAN input even for internet, and then DC in for that power cable. And then this is what the sides look like. You see it says, dust box here, so that's gonna help filter that and keep it clean and in good working condition. On the bottom here, you got some nice rubberized feet, so that's gonna be nice and non-slip and keep any of your surfaces from getting scratched up. You can see there is a 1/4-inch tripod thread right here as well, so you can put this on a tripod that way. That's nice. That's a very standard adapter right there, 1/4-inch. Here's what we got on the front here. Looks like a little camera almost, and an IR sensor there. Here is your lens. Pretty neat. It says right on the lens here, autofocus, 1080p, smart projector. And then yeah, just a simple little button right here on the top. Tactile button. Now the other really nice thing is this has auto focusing, so you'll kind of see it like buffeting like in and out, and it'll kind of focus and then defocus, and it'll kind of do that a few times, and it basically dials in. It's nice because it has a camera on the front of it actually, and that kind of gives it the spatial awareness to where then it can dial in the focus on its own. So there's no more manual focus correction where you're trying to do that yourself and kind of dial in imperfect, and if you go a little too far, it's too hard or messing with the dial. So that's really good. It's very accurate. I tried it at different lengths. You'll you'll see here. I had it, back at that distance, probably about like 9 feet or so. That gave me about a 100-inch picture. And then I moved it up even closer and closer, and pretty much anywhere where I set it up, it was pretty timeless and it was very accurate with how it focused. So you guys can see with this moved up very close here, I mean, that's a very, very sharp picture. That's something I haven't got from one of these 1080p projectors before. I mean, that's the clarity that you would get from a television. Right now, it's probably about 28 inches or 20 inches or something on here. Just to show you, if I hit this autofocus button, the first one, that kind of second row here, it'll go into the focusing mode and we'll see how quickly this focuses. So it's pretty cool because it has the sensor on the front and it basically kind of reads the distance away. And you can see that's all it takes. Gonna get it roughly set up on this 100-inch screen here. You can see it's focusing, and boom, it's refocused. Nice crisp picture. Looks perfect on here. So very impressive with that autofocusing. And where that comes from is that's coming from right here. There's a little camera basically on here. So like I said, it's native 1080p. This does give you really good picture quality. It's a sharp 1080p too. I've had other projectors where, they say it's 1080p and, it looks pretty decent and stuff, but this is very crisp, especially when you have it like smaller than 100 inches like I had when I did a little bit of that focus testing. It's the closest projector experience I've probably had so far, other than some of the other name brands where, you're getting close to a TV experience. And speaking of TV experience, it's pretty neat. They actually have like some live TV built into this too. So right into that OVO TV operating system, the first thing you'll see when you turn this on and it powers up is there's actually like a big widget right there on the front screen that is live TV. It'll say hit OK to go to full screen, and you can open up full screen and you can thumb over to the side and see all the channels. You can go up and down through them. So there's pretty cool stuff on there. There are a couple of kids channels, tons of news channels. There are multiple different languages and stuff too, so it's pretty neat. And then there's the other apps and stuff as well. Some of them are preloaded. Like I said, you have the Google App Store where you can go into there and you can get things off of that. Because one of the things in the past I've had is some projectors and that, different apps aren't compatible, or it's like a tablet version where it doesn't necessarily work the best. This remote does have the option. You can kind of turn it into a remote cursor and you can move it around and click on stuff, so that's good. But then if you run into where like an app isn't compatible, that's where then you could go to the OVO kind of app store and then you could download it there. So I think that's what I did with like Netflix. Said the version wasn't compatible in the Google store, and then OVO had one where you're able to download that and everything worked great in that. Of course, you can still hook up your own, devices as well and stuff too. So if you have your own like Fire Stick or Roku player, anything like that, there's a full-size HDMI on here, so you're able to use that and utilize that for things. So you can hook up a cable box, like laptop, gaming systems, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, any of that stuff that you can hook up to a TV, pretty much you can hook up to this as well, which is pretty awesome. This does have Miracast built in, so if you have an Android phone or device, you can cast that way. I have some Pixel phones, and for whatever reason, those are weird. I've kind of ran into that in the past where kind of did some IT troubleshooting. They basically told me it was the Pixel devices that usually you can kind of just swipe down and hit cast or, screencast, and it should show up and be able to go to this projector. That's how it worked on my Samsung Galaxy phone. I was able to just do that way. And same thing with the Apple devices, both with my iPhone SE2 and my iPhone 13 Pro. I actually just downloaded an app called AirScreen. And then when I had that pulled up, I was able to essentially just AirPlay over that. And it kind of came up with a name for AirPlay to be able to just cast like that. So one of the things I always tell people, keep in mind when you're casting that way, wirelessly, especially like that, there's a lot of other variables that can come into play. So with that, you can end up having a little bit slower speeds or a little bit more lag, stuff like that. If you want the quickest connection, always just hook up by wire. That's what I did with my MacBook. I have an M1 MacBook, 13-inch 2020. Also with my Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Both of those are Type-C devices, so I basically was able to use this MHL cables, typically what they're referred to. You can get MHL cables for, different kinds of phones, and one with a lightning adapter to HDMI. I have a Type-C to HDMI, but I was able to use that for my MacBook and for the Galaxy Note phone. It's very simple. It's just plug and play at that point. You hit the HDMI button and it'll go to that source and it shows up and it mirrors everything. So that gives you a lot less latency, and that's going to give you like the best experience in my opinion. So if you're going to be someone that's like using your laptop a lot with this, I would just hook up and do a wired connection that way. And those devices, those MHL cables, like mine has another port where then you can plug in a Type-C to power it as well. So then I was able to just put a USB to Type-C from the projector to that cable, and then that's a powered cable. So it's going to actually charge your devices as well. You can also hook up speakers to this OVO K2 projector. So this does have a aux in or headphone in input on there. So you're able to use an aux cable to hook up to a set of speakers. That's, again, it's going to be no latency and everything like that if you want to do that way. If you do want to do wireless, this does have Bluetooth connectivity, and you can go into the settings and go into the Bluetooth settings. The other cool thing about that is you can use the Bluetooth where this projector essentially becomes a speaker. So I was able to hook up through Bluetooth my phone to the projector, and when it's in that Bluetooth mode, it actually will shut the screen off and it'll still kind of have all the audio functions. So I was able to do that. I played a few songs I'll let you listen to here through the YouTube audio library. I thought it sounded pretty darn good. This has two 5-watt speakers, and yeah, take a listen. So yeah, guys, I thought those speakers sounded excellent from this projector. It's definitely one of the better ones I've heard. And when I talk about audio, usually with these projectors, it's kind of hand in hand. You have the actual speaker quality, and then you have the fan noise. So the fan noise on this is pretty darn low as well. I was actually very happy with it. It's not very significantly lower than other, even budget models I've tested in that. Usually those are in the 50, 55 decibel range. So with my decibel meter, I was getting readings of around like 42, 44 from a few feet away. The noise coming from the fans on this model aren't as harsh as other ones that I've heard and stuff, to the point where usually if I sit down and I'm watching like a movie or a TV show or something like that, it'll get to the point where if I'm going to sit there for more than a half hour, I'll get up and I'll go get another speaker to hook up to it. But with this, I didn't even have that urge. The sound quality is that good. You could get the volume up pretty loud, and then with the actual fan noise on these being pretty minimal, it really didn't bother me at all. I was pretty surprised and pretty impressed with that. So if you wanted to use this with just the standalone, onboard speakers, I think that's definitely a good option still. But then you do have options to, either hook up wired or through Bluetooth to other options as well. But it's really portable. You're able to use that little carrying handle and take this with you. Even within the home, it's great because then you can take it to, say, like your basement. You can, have it in your living room, set it up on a tabletop. So I like the versatility that this offers. The brightness of this is 900 ANSI lumens. So they're very upfront with kind of the brightness on this model. The 900 ANSI lumens is pretty solid. You're able to use that definitely at night and in dimmer conditions and stuff like that. But, if you have a little bit of ambient light coming in, you'll see here I tested with the lights on. I tested the one day I had the overhead light and the window were both kind of drawn open. So you'll kind of see what that looks like and everything. And it's definitely serviceable. You can still see it and stuff. But yeah, obviously if you can control the lighting and, use this in an environment where there's not a whole lot of light, that's going to give you the best picture quality. But compared to other options, this one, you're not really going to suffer if you have a little bit of ambient light getting through. But so as far as the other customization and that, like I said, there's the OVO operating system. So you have that OVO app store as well as the Google ones. They go to the same place. They're in kind of the app drawer. And there's actually a button even on the actual remote towards the upper right there where you can hit that and it opens up the apps and everything you've downloaded will just show up there. As far as some of the other customization on this K2 projector, it's nice because there's a lot of other things you can do so that you can dial in the image quality. It's nice because it'll give you an actual slideshow and go through different pictures and stuff where you can dial in things like your brightness and your contrast and the sharpness and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool because you can see that live. Another thing you can do is adjust the keystone correction. So within the settings menu there in your image settings, you can go into there. It has plus and minus 40 degrees for horizontal and vertical keystone correction. And you can kind of see what that looks like here. Basically, if you have this, depending on your setup or just the way it's placed, if it's off-centered a little bit one way or the other, you can dial in your picture like that. What I had to do was I had this on the floor, like I said, and I just had to do 1 degree of vertical correction and it gave me the most perfect upright picture. There's also a 4-point keystone correction that you can do also. And that allows you to just go from each of the corners, and you can't extend past out like what the picture is already, but you can kind of pinch those in and then move them around and stuff. But that allows you to independently go from one corner to the next, and you can also use that if that gives you a better picture and you need a little bit more customization. So they say a screen can go from 20 to 200 inches. I had it, like I said, for my testing, I pretty much had it all at 100 inches diagonal. At 100 inches, it's pretty sharp, especially when I brought it in though. I mean, when it was at that like about 40 inches, I'd say diagonally, I mean, it's a very crisp picture. It's just like a 1080p TV basically. So I was very impressed with that. So there is going to be an Amazon affiliate link down there below in the description. That does help me out if you want to pick this up. But I think it's a great option, guys. Like I said, it's got really good sound quality. The fan noise on it's relatively low. 900 ANSI lumens is pretty awesome as well. It's a nice looking 1080p projector. I think one of the biggest things is that customization and the ease of use though, like I mentioned. Very easy to set up. There's a lot of controls. And for those of you guys who like to tinker around with stuff and, maybe add some more stuff and apps and, different features, you can definitely do that on this projector. If you guys like the video, if it was helpful, hit that subscribe button if you like content like this. I do other projector reviews and home theater reviews, so make sure you stick around if you like this kind of stuff. Thank you guys for watching with me here today, and I'll see you on the next one.